All right, let's dive right in. If you're a leader and you're feeling, well, completely overwhelmed, then this is for you. We're going to look at a really elegant philosophy that's all about helping you find that clarity, that creativity, especially when it feels like there's just no room left to even think. Feeling the weight of leadership? Yeah, I bet that question hits home for a lot of you. If you're in any kind of leadership role, you know exactly what this feels like. It's that constant pressure, right? That mental weight that it comes with the territory.
So yeah, let's talk about that burden. Because let's be real, it's so much more than just a long to-do list. It's the shared experience of just mental overload, especially in the world we live in now, this always-on culture.
I mean, the demands are just relentless, aren't they? You're trying to make sound decisions, you're constantly adapting to change, you're trying to communicate a clear vision, and through all of that, every single responsibility just piles on another layer of mental clutter.
And here's the thing, the real problem isn't just the tasks themselves. In this age of total information overload, it's just so hard to let our true value shine through. Our authentic selves, our best ideas, they can get completely buried under all that noise, the noise of old habits and just constant demands.
But what if the answer isn't to just do more? What if it's actually about creating space? This is where a really beautiful and powerful concept from Japan comes into play.
The word is yohaku. Now, on the surface, it's the Japanese term for empty space, like the white space on a page. But it is so much more than that. It's about the meaningful void, that quiet space that actually gives everything else its power.
So think of it like this. Yohaku isn't just nothingness. It's a space you create on purpose, a space of pure potential. It's what you get when you start trimming away everything that's unnecessary. And that's the foundation, right? That's the fertile ground where creativity and real clarity can finally start to grow.
Okay, so how do we actually create this yohaku in our own minds? Well, this is where a really cool philosophy called dress up comes in. And just to be clear, nope, it has absolutely nothing to do with clothes. So dressing up in this sense is all about an internal process. It's about refining your thoughts, polishing how you express yourself, and the whole point is to maximize your true value, to bring that authentic, powerful self right to the forefront. And this is the transformation we're aiming for. You go from having this cluttered mind always reacting to things to creating this amazing space for creativity. Your thoughts become lighter, and your actions, they're driven by a deep, real sense of purpose.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? Let's get into the how. We're going to look at the practical methods that actually make all of this possible. All right, so this dress-up cycle is basically the engine that creates that mental space. And it's a cycle, right? It's continuous. First, you organize all those scattered thoughts. Then, you clarify, you get really honest about what truly matters. After that, you expand your viewpoint, get some new insights. Then you align all of that into a single, clear direction. And finally, you express it. You move forward with a solid plan and real confidence.
Now, to make this even more concrete, we can look at it through the lens of the ancient 5 elements model. Think of this as a kind of holistic checklist for your leadership. So you'd ask yourself, what about my vision, my goals and purpose? That's the wood element. How about my action, my habits? That's fire. What's the state of my communication and trust? That's earth. Is my mindset, my core beliefs, solid like metal? And finally, do I have that mental agility, that flexibility of water? It's just a really powerful way to make sure you're covering all your bases as a leader. So what happens when you put all of this together? When you start creating that yohaku using this dress-up method? What's the end game? What's the real result?
Well, it all comes back to this one beautiful phrase, shiko wa karuku, omoi wa fukaku. It means thoughts are light, feelings are deep. See, when you clear out all that mental clutter, your thinking becomes nimble, it becomes light. And that in turn allows your purpose, those deep feelings, your core vision, to really come through with so much more clarity and power.
And at the end of the day, this isn't just about being a better leader at work. The real goal here is something much more human. It's about tearing down those internal walls we all build so we can actually enjoy this life and this world with a lot more freedom and joy.
So I want to leave you with a question to chew on. What's just one unnecessary thought, one piece of mental baggage that you can consciously decide to set aside today? Just one. Think about the beautiful empty space, that yohaku, that it could create for you.